Hello, dear friend. This is my first personal presentation, so I've brought something extra along. And to get to the first point, I'm sure you will agree with me that it's always best to learn from the past as we're moving forward. So one of the things that I learned in my past was when I was working for Tony Parinello, author of Selling to Veto, selling to the very important top officer. And I was, slow but sure, became the manager of the office for Tony. Over time, for whatever reason, but I know the reason, we oscillated back to no office with Tony after being very successful for nationwide seminars. So what I learned from that is, did I ever really crystallize my vision with my two managers? Because I drove this to a certain point of creating this office and expanding throughout the United States, all 50 states. But yet, over a certain period of time, we oscillated back to zero, having no office. So what I learned from that is I didn't quite share that vision as crystal clearly as I should have. So to get to the point, I myself and those who I hired were interested in getting on that stage, eventually, slow but sure. We never got our foot on that stage in even a small way. But I never really crystallized that. As, we really need to get up there for 5 minutes or 2 minutes or however many minutes. And then do we like it? Is that something we want to continue to do? Do we have something of value to share? And if so, that could then become another program to reach out to corporations, corporate America. So never got crystal clear like that. We never got myself, Don, Robert, those were the main, Joel. We never got up on stage. So that's my belief in why we oscillated back to zero. So mine is, I've never shared my 4-part vision with my father or with yourself. I hope you participate to learn about my vision, the Healing Arts Day Spa, Keller Williams Real Estate, helping with teaching adults how to create and helping our children to memorize and create. So within those 4, I heard a quote some time ago, man who chases 2 rabbits rarely ever catches one. And that kind of stuck. Oh yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. And in a way it does, because one of the principles of creating is a senior organizing principle. That's one point. But mine is, I see these 4 elements all together working as one, and you're part of that. So I, to my father, Warren Kukla, I did bring a little bit of water for this one. His name being Warren, a bit about the name Warren is warning. Paul Revere riding through with the redcoats are coming. My father, being a very intelligent man, knows more of the details than almost all of us, and he does believe that we are sooner or later going over that cliff, America. I just saw in the paper 2 days ago about student debt. I think the figure was 1.2 trillion, and the average was 33,400 per student. I don't have it pinned as tight as I'm sure my father has it. That's one of the elements of the burden that's on America. So eventually I probably need to ask my dad, what are the other elements I'm not aware of, and most likely you're not aware of, or we're not aware of. And we probably do need to understand that, because in drama, film, movies, TV, plays, David Mamet, author, what's at stake is critical to understand. So my father knows what's at stake, and he's warning people to wake up. Mine is, I understand that, partially. But mine is that learning from my favorite author, Robert Fritz, problem solving is not going to do it. It never does it. Even the bigger the equation, but for anything that we choose not to problem solve because of the inherent incorrect structure, which mostly produces oscillation, no progress. We learn how to create. So within the Healing Arts Day Spa, I enjoy daily creating with my wife, our 3-4 daughters, and other therapists, and that gives me a place where I can continually create. And we have a client base now of 20 years. My hope is those clients understand that my vision, my passion is to help others to learn how to create in a practical way, and that's with Keller Williams Real Estate. That there is, but using technology, a way to implement the creative process to help you create your dream home. Now that's not that I'm going to go out and talk to every person I meet about real estate about the creative process. That's a different type of client that I first meet, and I stay on that page with that client for buying or selling their home. But there's a whole group. Our newsletter I started in 2008 grew to over 8,000, 12,000. I chopped it down to 5,000 because so few people were viewing, and then recently chopped it down to 2,200 of those who mostly view our newsletter. I thought there was much more value in our newsletter, that we should be at 14,000 subscribers. So we're down to 2,200. So I don't know what our 20 years of the Healing Arts Day Spa has not understood about Russell's passion for helping others to learn how to create, and hopefully they see the things I've created with the Healing Arts. I don't want a larger Healing Arts unless you want that larger Healing Arts, which is to come in once per month because it's what's best for you, best for your client, your therapist, so your therapist can be with us, best for the Healing Arts Day Spa so we can be with you and your therapist. And oh, by the way, a little bit of when you're coming into the Healing Arts helps for these other areas, including teaching adults. The crayons represent the creative process, createwhatmatters.com, and teaching adults how to create versus many adults are still stuck with the head looking down problem solving. So does that make sense so far? So hopefully after 20 years people say, you know what, man, Russell's been talking about this stuff for 20 years. It's kind of that drumbeat I've heard, man. I'm not sure why the participation isn't there. We can be a very grand the Healing Arts Day Spa, but it takes monthly participation. So either come on in or refer somebody to us. We have probably America's best referral program. That's the ball that we should be rolling, and Russell shouldn't be pushing so hard to keep it still going. So for the real estate, I believe it's very possible there because of the technology. So very soon, I'll be doing the videos about that technology to help you create your dream home. I'm very excited about that because the technology will help us. And I'm ready to go on the technology. So that with adults, and then over to our children, the createk12change.org, or soon to be the learnhowtomemorize.com and learnhowtocreate.com, is that's all moving towards helping our children to understand a proven, dependable, repeatable method for memorizing, which Russell is saying is the same proven, dependable, repeatable method for creating. So that's the four-part vision. The Healing Arts is the axis that I would hope our clientele understands. This is what Russell believes to be the true health. The foundation for health is for looking up, memorizing, as practical as Mr. Robert Fritz, and he calls it picturing. America's possibly number one thinker in the world. So this isn't fluff. This isn't about chakras, which is sometimes in the Healing Arts, and we don't talk about or introduce that. This is very practical. A business management author from MIT Sloan School of Business Management. Picturing, key for creating. For memorizing, same. So get it even more to my favorite author, one of my favorite authors, W. Edwards Deming, only the method matters. So I don't know, Deming at age 83, I don't know, finally was discovered in America after he had already gone to Japan, because nobody here in America heard what Deming was saying. He went to Japan. Japan kicked our ass. If you remember the days, everything in Kmart was made in Japan. Sears made in Japan. Where's Japan on the shelf today? Walmart, Target, can't find it. They've left off on Deming methodology. Deming's gone. Mr. Robert Fritz is here. the expert of creating change. And so that's my complete vision that we're starting with. Our founding father, W. Edwards Deming, our founding father of total quality management. The one quote I'm trying to pull out of his 93 years. So the very last day, he was out speaking, and he talked a lot worse than I'm currently talking. So, only the method matters. To me, it's practical. And yet, the non-participation is almost as if I can't even come up with the word. You know, when you're too yin in what you share with people, let's just pin it in our industry, chakras, energy wheels, energy centers. Heck, if I know, we do massage. That's practical. So we're over here in management. W. Edwards Deming, rooted. What we're also sharing is a creative process. 2 relative points are where we start. Tai Chi, Feng Shui, memorizing and creating are rooted in the 2 points. Vision, current reality. That's why Tai Chi and Feng Shui can be understood and learned and mastered. And that's why creating, memorizing, and creating can be understood, learned, practiced, and mastered. So it's very practical. So the non-participation, I have no idea. We're not a membership at the Healing Arts Day Spa because sign on the dotted line and now we're going to hold you to it. That's what most people need. This is sharing a vision. If it's fuzzy, let me know. I'm always willing to adjust. I picture the Healing Arts Day Spa with treatment rooms, secretarial, a place for seminars, and they could go from there. Jacuzzi, whirlpool, dressing area, salon, restaurant. Once a month, come on in. So it's important that I don't oscillate like the days of Tony Parinello. And I don't know what the decision makers would have said if I was clear. You know, I want to get up there even if it's 2-3 minutes. But we need to start in that direction. And would we still be together today? I'm not sure. But it's the same with here, very practical. And again, from a gentleman by the name of Robert Fritz from MIT Sloan School of Business Management, vision can get fuzzy. Robert mentions it as picturing, motion pictures, more practical. So it's coming from there, so we're not talking about fuzzy, we're talking about very grounded, very rooted principles. So my direction is to less involvement here with the Healing Arts Day Spa because you're coming in monthly or you're referring somebody to us monthly or purchasing products, whatever that might be too that you are doing. That is also, look forward to the future videos about how using technology for creating the dream home. It's very practical. I'll try and keep them short. That about, now we're learning specifically about creating in a more practical way. We're creating something together for every man, every woman. Their home is their castle. What better to create than their dream home? That momentum where the information I'm able to invest a little more time and energy to press out with this information, children, and your participation as you wish in that, as you please, as you are able. And so that's the complete vision. So, you know, we can, next step coming up is, do I need to find out how bad things really are for what's at stake really in America, the weight that is upon us, that will most likely come to roost? Or do we stay positive and say, regardless, what is it that we're going to create? So there's some kind of a, we call it in the body, osmosis type, where the body is going to settle into that, but which one? Well, the vision, the stronger vision of the positive participation versus the fearing and all that goes along with that. So I see a very positive vision here for your participation monthly. If there's anything else I can do to be more clear, please let me know. And thank you for participating.